The first option we considered for this birth of our second child was an independent, freestanding birth center staffed by midwives. They are definitely not available in all areas. We are lucky to live somewhere that has a midwifery school that has a very strong reputation, and then of course the student midwives attend births at their birth center. We took a tour of the birth center just to get a feel for it and meet some of the midwives. There were a lot of things that we liked. First of all, this would be our lowest cost option. They don't bill insurance, so it's just pay up front, but it is under $1,000 for everything, including all of your prenatal and postnatal appointments. We definitely felt like we would get adequate support there. There would be a staff midwife and then 3 student midwives in a support role present at every birth, so there would be plenty of people, plenty of hands, and I feel like we would really be surrounded by people trying to help us out. There are no restrictions on the number of people you can bring with you, so we could bring our daughter, we could bring any other friends or family we wanted to, and also they do water births, so that would be an option there. The big drawbacks to the birth center are that, first of all, they don't schedule prenatal appointments. They just do it on sort of first come, first serve basis. So they would assign me a day to come, but not a time. So I could potentially be waiting in the waiting room for a very long time if there were a lot of births going on otherwise. And this might not be a big deal if I weren't working, if I didn't already have a child, but I just imagine myself trying to work around my part-time work schedule and coordinating, a car with our 1-car family, and then also having a toddler to keep entertained, and that makes me really nervous. Also with the birth center, there is still a transfer, so I would labor at home for some amount of time, and then I would still have to get in the car and pack up and change to a totally different environment, which to me is sort of a drawback. This birth center does not allow any photos or video to be taken until after the birth. I think it's for liability reasons because they're students and something with their liability insurance, I don't know. But I'd like to have that option. I'd like to be able to take pictures if we want to. And the real deal breaker for us here was that they cannot treat people who test positive for Group B strep. So this is just something that they choose not to deal with. And if you test positive, which the results usually come back around 37 weeks when you're full term, they just transfer you out of their care. So we would be left at that point trying to go back and find a different caregiver, and I do not want to be in that position. Again, because I did test positive for Group B strep my first pregnancy, it is fairly likely that I would be positive again this time. So one way to get around that would be to just opt out of the testing and just not have it done. But that's not something I'm comfortable with. I want to know that this baby is going to be, protected from any potential infection to the best of my ability. So for these reasons, the cons really outweigh the pros for us. Even though it seems like a nice place, we would probably have a good experience. We're just not willing to take some of the risks. So we have ruled out this birth center for this birth.